Hi, Katherine. Thank you so much for
Hi.
coming on the Power Women Wellness podcast. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Before we start recording, I know we mentioned how long it's been since we chatted, but excited
Yes.
to see how much you've flourished and super teeth and everything.
Yes, I know. I can't believe it's been like a little over a year. So much has changed. We've grown so much, learned, and continue to learn. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
Yes. Okay, so we'll start off like introduce yourself, who you are, what do you do? Tell us a little bit more about super teeth.
Sure. So I'm Katherine, a mom of three, co-founder of Super Teeth, which is a probiotic company that focuses on oral health. And basically through like a combination of personal health issues that I experienced, which I know we'll get to in a little bit, and being blessed to be surrounded by a bunch of dental health professionals, really led us to creating our company and discovering this world of the oral microbiome, and healing oral health naturally. So
I
yeah.
love that. I'm curious. It was just being like in a family of dental health professionals. Like, do you still get nervous of doing anything like dental work?
Right. I know. No, I still don't love going to the dentist. Like
Okay.
that doesn't change. No, that doesn't change. I mean, sitting there with your mouth open and having your teeth scraped, really,
Yeah.
really nothing glamorous about that. And it's either my father-in-law or my brother-in-law. So that even makes it even more fun.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of comforting if I had something like in the family that
Yes.
was doing my teeth versus
Yes.
like, I don't know, I guess a stranger, but still, it's still
Sure.
nerve-wracking.
I know that they're doing a good job and I'm going to hold them accountable and they're going to hear about it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm a patient that's like, peace out, see you
Yeah.
in 6 months. Like, no, I'm going to complain to them. But no, yeah, it's been interesting. And my sister-in-laws are hygienists. I have three of them. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
You're not joking that it's like dental family.
Nope. Yep. Yeah. Straight up.
That's funny. So tell us more about what I guess brought you to like the oral microbiome. What like led you into
Yeah.
learning about it?
Yeah. Well, so I struggled with IBS for a really long time. And I feel like that's just the Western medical world of saying you have something wrong with your digestive system and we don't know what.
Yeah,
I know
pretty
you know
much.
that really well. Yeah. I just experienced digestive issues and it kind of was like a family thing, if you will. My grandma did, my sister did, and we just didn't know why. So I really started diving into like gut health and researching the gut microbiome. And I took hormone, like birth control for a while.
Mhm.
And so I feel like I just really messed up my gut. So I started researching, okay, there's like a whole world of bacteria in my gut and it needs good bacteria to thrive and to be healthy. So I started taking probiotics. That's how I discovered probiotics and it healed my gut, like healed it. I
That's
don't know.
amazing.
You probably have a lot of patients and clients that you put on probiotics as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that beneficial bacteria, it's so helpful. So fast forward to being pregnant and to connecting this to oral health, I experienced a lot of oral health issues when I was pregnant. Cavities, gingivitis, the whole thing, just from hormones from being pregnant, they really wreak havoc on your mouth.
Oh, I
So
always thought same thing. Like ever since was pregnant, my teeth honestly have never been the same.
I know.
Granted, I've never like I think this is just preface. This is before I was healthy.
Yes.
So this was like I did not take a prenatal. I ate the
Mhm.
standard American diet. So I ate like
Totally.
crap. Like
Yep.
honestly, like meat, veggies was so repulsive to me. So I
Yep.
remember eating like donuts and like you name it. Obviously,
I know.
I'm glad I was kind of oblivious because
I
but
know.
at the same time, like my teeth never like I've struggled with cavities ever
Yeah.
since then. And
Yeah.
it sucks. So the dentist is, definitely a friend.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. And you can't get x-rays when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So you come out of it and you're like, whoa, I have like 5 to 7 cavities that I didn't even realize. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly a combination of hormones and then just eating not
Yeah.
well because we don't feel well, it's
Oh,
hard.
yeah. I remember eating bananas and crackers like overnight, like waking
Yeah.
up, taking a couple bites, going back to sleep. I mean,
Yep.
I just wanted to ward off any type of morning sickness. Oh,
Yep.
I mean, all the bad habits
All the things, the frequency
added
anxiety.
up.
Exactly. Yes. And I feel like a lot of women can speak to that. They can speak to, hey, when I was pregnant, my health shifted dramatically. And a lot of times their mouth is involved in that too. And I feel like with what we know today, the mouth is often overlooked. And they're like, oh yeah, I had a bunch of cavities, but I didn't really know why. And they don't give much attention to it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a really big thing. So I was already deep into probiotics, knew that they worked really well for my gut, helped me heal. But then I had all these cavities and I was like, what is going on? Wait a second. I brush and floss really well. Clearly I'm having some sort of dysbiosis in my mouth, some sort of pathogenic bacteria, because we know that pathogenic bacteria are responsible for most oral diseases. So clearly I'm experiencing some sort of dysbiosis in the mouth, like I did in my gut. It just kind of was like a light bulb moment. Yeah. So together with my father-in-law, who's been a dentist for over 35 years, he started helping me look deeper into the oral microbiome, which at the time, there wasn't a lot of information on it.
Yeah.
And it's still being discovered. I mean, the gut is known up and down, in and out. Like, you know, we know about the gut microbiome well now, but the oral microbiome is something we've just started to unearth. Yes. So we had the genius idea of, okay, probiotics worked so well for my gut. I'm probably missing probiotics in my mouth. So that's what led us to creating our company.
I love that. I know I have a whole routine now, and I'm sure I'll ask you about your dental routine.
Yes.
But I have like my brushing and flossing, which is actually comical because now my routine is good, but I'm so frustrated that sometimes, I'll still struggle with like oral health stuff. And I was like, it's on point. No. So I like brush and floss, and then I'll oil pull with coconut oil. Sometimes I'll put some like a drop of frankincense in there, sometimes not. And I'll always finish it off with a probiotic, an oral probiotic in my mouth before bed. So I think I have a great routine. Don't know, still figuring things out, but
no, that sounds great to me. That sounds like exactly what I do. I have gotten into tongue scraping. It's like,
me too.
Yeah, right. It's like oddly satisfying.
Yes, I need to get better at doing, because I know some people will do it right, like in their morning routine, like one of the first things that they do, like literally get out of bed, go straight to the bathroom, tongue scrape. I haven't gotten into that. Like, okay, first thing I do, tongue scraping, but I am doing it now just in general.
Yes. Well, and it's true because when you sleep, often a lot of us sleep with our mouth a little bit open so that the air coming into your mouth causes dry mouth. And so your microbiome is going to shift overnight. So you are going to wake up with it feeling different than the way you went to sleep. So I'm not perfect at it either. I know we're going to chat about morning routines, and I am like waking up early and like slugging my kids off to school. So by no means am I the perfect, person at morning oral routines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's like the beauty of it is like everyone's very different, and like morning might just be super chaotic. So it's simple. And so nighttime routines can be a little bit more like that's what it is versus morning and vice versa. And then also just people who kind of wing it, and that's just their personality. So it's really cool just to kind of see how everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
But we'll start with morning routine. So tell me what you do. Kids obviously play a role, but from what you're drinking, eating, what are you doing for your health, life?
That's a great question. So during the week, I guess is a little bit than the weekend, but we can talk about the week. Normally I'm up like pretty early, like 5:30 or 6, because we have to get the kids out the door early for school, but nobody's awake at 5:30. So kind of like that golden hour. I always start with a Jesus calling. That's just kind of like a devotional, a Bible verse a day. Just kind of helps me like focus my heart and focus my mind, taking the attention off of the negative and what I might have been dwelling on, say the night before, and kind of refocusing my day. So I always do that, hopping in the shower, whatever. And then I am slugging the kids off to school with coffee, and I have to shout out Laird Superfood Creamer. Do you use that?
I've used it before. I haven't used it in a long time, but I've used it before.
Yeah, it's yummy. I know it's got superfoods and good stuff in there, and it kind of helps me like get the kids to school without having to have like a full-on breakfast before. They're your attention in the morning when you're getting them
for sure.
And then I come back, and that's when I try to have like a veggie protein breakfast, because I have to have some sustenance in there to like, start working. So Yeah, that's my morning routine. The brushing and the flossing, that's just a quick, again, since while you're asleep, your microbiome is changing in your mouth. When I wake up, I will either just tongue scrape or brush just to kind of change that bacterial shift in my mouth,
Okay.
but I'm not focusing on like cleaning my teeth because they're super clean from the night before. I'm just focusing on shifting the microbiome.
Boo. I agree. That's kind of how, especially orally, like nighttime, I'm so much more intensive and mindful about it. And then the morning is just kind of like a quick, like brush my teeth. I don't even, do I floss? No, I guess sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm just brushing my teeth, tongue scraping and moving on.
Right.
Versus nighttime is like the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Totally. Same.
I love that. I've heard Jesus calling is very common. I feel like I've heard that one and I see it a lot on social media as well. Do you do anything else for your health outside of nutrition in the morning? Any movement or meditation, anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So not in the morning for me, just because the morning I am like focusing on kids, and then owning a business, you're just like getting to like, what do I need to do first thing in the morning, answering those emails.
Yeah.
But I did give some thought to that. What I do is actually midday for me. So once I get through all that stuff that I had to do in the morning that took my attention, I kind of check out at around, it's kind of like a lunchtime thing. I head out, I try to ground.
Nice.
I know it's so nice. You sit in the sun, get some good vitamin D on your face. And that's when I will do like either like my meditation. I really like 432 megahertz music. I'm not sure if that's something.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I have to pop open my Spotify. Okay, I have 417 hertz.
Okay.
And that one was, I don't know exactly. I think I was just looking for like focus, concentration, frequencies, and that's what popped up. But when you said that, I'm like, ooh, I have a playlist that's like something similar.
Heard about that before. Yeah. Okay. So 417, I'll have to look into that. 432, I know is like one that's really natural to the human ear. And there have been clinical studies that have shown that it reduces your heart rate, your blood pressure, the human body and the way we were created, I feel like really flows with 432, and 417 might be the same way.
I'll write that down and put that in the show notes. But yeah, I think I was looking for during like study and stuff for school, like something focus and concentration.
Yeah. I mean, we're all about frequency, right? Like we are made up of frequencies, and everything in this world is made up of frequencies. So the frequency of the music we listen to, I think really affects our brain and the way we, even our feelings and our emotions. So I love that. I'm big into music.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love that it's like midday. I know my workout is best mid-morning, even though it's like right, like slam in the middle of like productivity and like when my brain's working, but it's like just enough time for not being overly full. So it's like my breakfast is digested. So I'm feeling like that energy, and I don't know, it's just something like mid-morning. And I kind of like deep down, like, oh, I wish I could be like either before my day started and obviously not before bed, but like, why does it have to be right in the middle of like a productive work morning?
I know. And I think that's why I push it. I think I'm late morning would be super nice, but I'm still like deep in whatever I'm doing. So for me, it's around lunchtime, but changes.
Nice.
So.
And so yes, tell us your nighttime and feel free to like elaborate on dental.
Yes. So nighttime I think is less about like mental for me, because I'm just like mentally exhausted. I'm tapped. I don't know about you.
Yes.
Nighttime I'm really tired, so I am mainly just focusing on skincare and oral care at the time. That's when I really try to you want to stop eating and drinking anything other than water about 20 to 30 minutes before you brush your teeth, because your enamel is still soft after you eat and drink. So I wait and I brush my teeth once I feel like my mouth has like digested, if you will, my food. And my saliva, has come back down. It's not as acidic anymore. And that's when I'll really floss, brush with an electric toothbrush. I take my time. I do about 4 minutes instead of 2.
Wow.
Just because, again, I was pretty cavity prone. So I have to take extra attention on my teeth, and just the way my teeth are shaped too. They take extra time. So I floss, I brush, I definitely tongue scrape. I'll do oil pulling. My cheeks get sore.
I know. It's a cheek workout.
It's a cheek workout. So yes, I don't do it every night, but I do it a lot. And then I'll finish with a dental probiotic because you really want those good bacteria to be working in your mouth while you're asleep. You don't want to eat food or drink water for, again, 20 to 30 minutes after. So the bacteria really have a chance to seed your oral cavity. Nice. So that's going to do that. And then, skincare and slowly wind down again. I'll put like 4:32 on my phone. And then with like a timer to shut off after 30 minutes and just praying myself to sleep. You know how you like fall asleep mid thought.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Yeah. I do remember hearing that, for, what was it on? I think it was on, I always forget his name. He's a really big holistic dentist on Instagram.
Okay. Dr. B?
Yes.
Dr. Brahmi?
And I remember him saying like to brush your teeth like in the morning before you start eating for that reason. And I remember like trying to shift, and sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm not. But I always forgot the reasoning why, which I feel like an education person. So sometimes when I know the physiology, it helps me just like plant that seed and like make that happen, that habit happen, whatever I know, as long as I know why. And thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. And again, I'm not perfect. Totally. This is just like what I strive to do and what I try to do like 75% of the time, but I mean, we're human,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would say I oil pull most nights, but definitely the nights where I'm exhausted, I'm like, no, we're just going to brush and floss and go to bed.
Yeah. For sure. Because sometimes like getting to sleep is priority number one.
Yes. So you filled us in a little bit on like what you ate in the morning. So what are your go-tos for like lunches and dinners?
Yeah. So again, I'm really protein veggie. I've tried to be gluten-free. I feel like that helps my gut. And also love lentils. Lentils are like a really like good, clean, nutritional source of protein for me. I love ginger, green juices. I feel like the ginger is kind of like a prebiotic. So it helps feed that good bacteria in my gut, helps kind of like center my digestive system. And I think I always focus on like the protein and the veggie, and then whatever sort of healthy like carb I can sprinkle in there for energy.
Yeah, for sure. There's a juice blend from a company here, Alchemy. I actually had her on my episode 2 of the podcast, but she has a blend for immune boost, but she put garlic in it. And ever since then, even though it sounds kind of gross, like I love garlic and juices. Ginger too, but
it has like that sharp flavor that really gives it like I don't know, depth flavor, if you will, kind of like ginger. I haven't done garlic too much. I am Italian, so you would think that I like garlic, but
I'm gonna say garlic is never too much. Like any recipe that's like 2 cloves, I'm like, no, 5 cloves.
Hey, flavor. It's good for you.
Yes. And I'm so curious, like, how do you feel like you balance it all with, you have kids and a bit like, what is your, and we're all human, but like, what do you feel like are some things that you really fall back on or things that you do to like pivot and prioritize?
Yeah. And that happens a lot too when you own your own business, because you're just like going, and you think you know what you're doing and you've got your plan for the day and right. And then all of a sudden things just like, whoa, okay, that is not what I was expecting. I, again, just praying for me and really like, saying, I found that like journaling and sometimes saying my thoughts out loud help me slow down and help me like really feel like digest like what I'm feeling. When we have thoughts in our mind, we can rifle through them really quickly. We can push them off. We can not be intentional. But when I write or when I say things out loud, I'm like, oh, wow, like this is what I'm feeling. This is what's really happening right now. How can I refocus myself and with my long-term goals? Because I have a journal where I have my long-term goals just for my family, for myself, for our business. What's happening right now? What can I do to shift that back into the direction for my long-term goals. I thought it was going to be this. I'm feeling all these emotions right now. I don't think this is how it's going to happen. How else can I go about it so that I end up where I wanted to be? So does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that because, you're right. Like, I guess when I journal, but when you do say it out loud, I feel like it makes it feel like real. Like, cause you're right. We can easily
Yeah.
push it out of our head. Like, oh, I'm feeling kind of anxious today, like, and on to the next,
Yeah,
but
right.
allowing yourself to kind of be there in it, I guess. Yeah, I definitely could see that helpful.
Yeah.
I'll have to try
Yeah.
that next time.
Yeah. Like, especially after I drop my kids off from school and I'm driving back home, I take the back roads home. And so I've got, beautiful scenery. And instead of just thinking things as I'm driving home, I'll say, I'm feeling really anxious right now. Why am I feeling anxious? And I'm sure if I'm at a stoplight, someone's like, woo, she crazy. She's talking to herself.
Hey, we're working through things, okay?
Right? Yeah. But then when I say that, it made it real. And I'm like, yeah, I really am feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? And it helps me just get it out and get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you ever feel like or have you ever felt like there was a struggle between putting yourself first and like taking care of yourself, especially when you have kids? Because I think naturally it's like, oh, we're the back burner, but
Yeah.
obviously we know that we have to fill up our cup to take care of everyone else at the expense. So have you ever struggled with that?
Yeah. Big time. Personal versus like, yeah. No, big time. And I think you put it best. For sure, when my cup isn't full and when I'm stressed and when I'm anxious, I'm probably subconsciously going to project that out onto my relationships and to the way I interact with my kids. So sometimes taking care of yourself isn't selfish.
Yeah.
Because you are actually realizing if I don't work on what I'm feeling right now, my husband is going to suffer, my kids are going to suffer, and they are the happiest when I am functioning at my best and when I'm happy. And so for me to be happy, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are some of the things that like in the moment, like it's kind of a non-negotiable, like you're recognizing you're like that? What are some things you lean on?
Yeah. Well, I've said it, praying for sure.
Yes.
For me, 100%. I mean, relying on, just lifting.
Do you close yourself in the room and like
kind of yes, absolutely. Or like when I'm feeling so frustrated and upset, I let myself cry. Sometimes letting those tears come out like sheds it.
Yes. Like I feel sometimes better after I cry. I'm like, oh, that felt so good.
Yes, absolutely. I try not to like bawl in front of my kids. Go into a room. But yeah, definitely that. For me, just like working through things that are in my head and my priority list and working on myself. That's how I put myself first, which is, helping everybody else. So
yeah, for sure. Do you have any favorite mental health tools that you use on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. So, I think I've touched on it in terms of like refocusing with music. I know we'll talk about exercise for a little bit, but I was actually a dancer, my whole life, and I've taught bar classes. And I love teaching dance classes, everything from little kids to adults. So sometimes it sounds silly, but I'll just throw on some like old school 1990s, like good old hip hop music. And I will either do some old routines I remember or just dance. And it makes me feel a lot better.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know, that's like a part of my like pre exercise. That's my warm up.
Right. And 1 and 2 and 3.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. Yeah. So exercise, what is your go-to? I don't know. It sounds like you're pretty active. So it sounds like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I know. I've gone through stages. I feel like I've done P90X, I've done a lot of stuff at home. But I taught bar classes for a really long time. Dancing is such a workout. Both for your body and your mind, because you're pushing yourself to remember choreography or, technique and positioning and being intentional. So I've really done a lot. I do need to work on my upper body strength and like weights and lifting, especially as women get older, right?
Yes.
It's harder for us to keep on muscle mass.
Yep.
So that's something I need to work on for sure.
Nice. So, but I love that. It's just like, I don't know, intuitive movement, like
intuitive.
what feels good.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. Do you have any like self-development books or podcasts or things that you love to like listen to or read to on
Yep.
a weekly
Yep.
basis?
Yes, I love this question. By far, hands down, my favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Okay.
1936,
Classic.
classic, Dale Carnegie. He was such a forward thinker for his time. And I have found that when I am genuine in my interactions with people and I focus on lifting them up and being positive and being kind and being a good listener, I feel so much better myself.
Yeah.
So hands down, like if you don't have time to read, listen to it on tape. I've done both. That's my favorite for sure.
It's been a long time since I read it. And honestly, I don't even know if the timing of when I read it, I was even ready to like receive it or do
Right.
anything really with it.
Yes.
So I need to give it another try because that's like a classic of
Classic.
self-development books. Like it's that I'm trying to think of other authors that are like
Yes, I
Dale
know.
Carnegie.
Yes,
Gosh,
there are
I feel like I'm
definitely,
blanking.
yeah, there are definitely some others during that time. I can think about it too, but and I've listened to a few of them, but you're right. Where your heart is when you
Yeah.
listen to it totally changes how
Yeah.
you receive it.
Yeah, for sure. I know
So
there's handfuls of, are you an audio listener or a like book?
yeah, I am a multitasker. That's something I'm working on though, is actually trying not to multitask as much. I feel like
Mm,
as moms, we're like folding laundry while we're talking to our kids, while something's on the stove, while we're like, answering an
yeah.
Instagram DM or whatever. So I do like audio, but I also do love sitting and reading because it helps me focus too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always joke because I mean, obviously, this is like the science driven explanation of evolution, about how we like came from monkeys and stuff. I actually don't know if I believe that. I don't think I do.
Right.
I just being a Christian as well.
Sure.
But
Sure.
anyways, I always said like, if there was evolution in that way, why did we stop with two arms? Moms should have grown four
Right.
arms. Like, I feel like that was a
Minimum.
very natural
Yeah.
like progression with everything
Right.
that we do.
Yeah, survival of the fittest. The mom that can do 8 things with 8 arms is going to survive.
It's so true because you're right. I mean, it's very easy to not be intentional with like our kids and the things that we
Yeah,
do because we are
yeah,
multitasking. And
yeah.
sometimes I can feel when I can do that and I want to do that. So like I can, listen to a book when I'm doing my nighttime routine or in the shower, but other
Right.
times where my brain is just spent and I'm like, nope, I just want to shower. I just want to go on a walk without any music, without any
Yes.
audiobooks and just be silent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can feel myself shift. So it's
Yes.
nice when you kind of get to that point and it's not that you're pushing to do it because you need to do it. You just kind of
Exactly.
follow your own lead
Exactly.
of like
Following
what
where
feels
your
right.
heart is and yeah, how you can be most
Yeah.
receptive to what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
For sure. Awesome. Is there anything else that we left out in your routines or what you love to do for mental health and wellness?
Yeah, I know you. Well, you're such an expert on it. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still figuring it out too. I mean, being
I
a
love it.
business owner, it's like days change, day to day. Your agenda is changing, and you're figuring out and you're pivoting. Like you said, we've
Yeah.
pivoted quite a bit. So just being nimble and always having those end goals in mind, I feel like is like my biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. And tell us like where we can find your company and like, yeah, the proper, like how would you recommend using the oral probiotics?
Yeah. Well, so if you're a lover of probiotics or you struggle with oral health issues or you just don't want to go have extra trips to the dentist, which should be everybody,
Yes.
you can check us out at getsuperteeth.com. And basically a probiotic is just, our tagline is floss, brush, take one of us, because really and truly it's an addition to your oral hygiene routine. But even if you're like a Altoid or a Tic Tac, or, you like those breath mints that actually aren't good for your
Yes.
mouth and actually do give you bad breath in the long run, they're a great alternative to that too. So yeah, check us out at getsuperteeth.com.
I'm surprised that even Altoids are even a thing anymore.
Right?
That's
I
like
know.
so like 80s, I feel like, for brushing your breath.
A tin of like sugar. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, feeding the little microbes.
Yeah, exactly. Feeding the bad guys. But seriously, I'll go to every like normal grocery chain, not like Whole Foods, but a regular grocery chain, and there they are with the Tic Tacs and the Lifesavers, and it's like, okay, there's still a demand. So
we're gonna end it with some lightning round questions. So just either or. Tell us your favorite.
okay.
We'll start off with mountain or beach.
Oh, mountain.
Me too. Sweet or sour?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, me too. Ice cream cone or sundae?
Oh, ice cream cone, probably, I guess.
Yeah.
Good one.
Reality shows or documentaries?
Oh my gosh, so torn. Okay.
I know it's like, right? It's like different moods. Like you have to be in like,
I was going to say half of me and half of me, but as I'm getting older, for sure, documentaries.
Okay. What is your favorite? Have you watched a really good one lately?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is this is a reality show and a documentary in one. Was it LuLaRoe? I watched the documentary on
Oh, I think I've heard
LuLaRoe.
of that one.
Oh, it was juicy. It was good.
Really? That was like
Yeah.
a clothing company. Is that still around?
I think it is.
Oh.
But the company ended up going they got in big time trouble for some quality control and false advertising and marketing. So there you go. See, that's a combination of like both. So
That's true. I know right now, I mean, obviously this podcast is we're recording in October. So I think this comes out in January. But right now, the Jeffrey Dahmer like documentary is all the rage for all the crime junkies.
Yes. And I'm such a baby when it comes to crime. I don't like scary movies. I'm so
Me too. I'm like, I just want good things in my brain.
Yes.
I already think of all the scenarios. So throwing in how I know a serial killer is thinking, yeah, that makes me now even more paranoid.
Right, exactly. No, let's talk about shedding excess things I don't need. But no, I know it's definitely juicy and good for sure. Good entertainment, that's for sure.
Do you have a good reality show? I'm curious.
Man, I have really eliminated TV since doing our business because it is distracting.
Yeah.
So I'm so bad at talking about, did you say reality or just TV show in general?
Reality show.
Okay, no, see, I don't watch reality shows. I haven't in a really long time, besides the obvious ones like Real Housewives, like the old school.
Yes. Everyone's watched that one.
Right, yeah. But I do love Yellowstone. I know that's not a reality
show.
Yeah. The mountain loving girl in me. I feel like that one always gets me. That's a good one. I'm hoping the season comes out,
Yes. My husband fell in love with it. I haven't watched it yet, but he said,
oh, you haven't? Oh, it's good. It's good.
Okay, awesome. And last but not least, hot dog or hamburger?
Oh, well, are we talking organic? What kind of meat?
Organic, all good. Both healthy.
Oh, okay. Both healthy. Well then, no, probably hamburger.
Yeah, me too. Nothing like a good burger for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, Katherine. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was so nice to reconnect.